Hey you guys, welcome back to Romance Review TV. Lady T here, and we got another recap for you guys. Married at First Sight Season 15, episode number 8. And this particular episode is called Party Ways. Look like pressure is put on our 5 couples as real life closes in on them. While it looks like some of those folks are rising to the challenge, others are cracking under pressure, trying to balance out their new lives and day-to-day routines with each other. But we're about to break down everything we saw in this episode, ranging from advice to first fights. So before we do this, take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to this channel to receive all updates. And please don't forget to like and share. So let's talk about this. Okay, so the episode starts off with the newlyweds getting some one-on-one advice from their close friends and family. Now, Miguel starts out by catching up with his pal Steve, who asks about his marriage with Lindy. Now, Miguel ultimately says that he knows that she has his best interest at heart and he is liking her a lot right now. So also we have Kristen, who meets with her friend Joanna, and she tells her for the most part that Mitch and her are getting along just great. But the only reservations that she do have with Mitch is this whole thing with clutter and his different approach to how to plan a party. Now, Kristen is worried about sharing this detail about her past with Mitch, to which Joanna advises her she needs to be upfront and honest. And I don't know, I guess because of her past experience she had by telling that story, people was wondering if something was wrong with her because the guy left 6 months before the marriage date and cheated with somebody else, but that's been her reason why she's had the reservation. But as Joanna says, she does need to be upfront and honest. Now we have Alexis, who's chatting with her sister Amber from her computer, and she brought up the whole dog situation involving her dog Newton, who was hurt by Justin's dog Maya. Now, when Alexis tells her sister that she already told Justin that she loves him, Amber kind of worded that it's a little bit too soon and was kind of warning her to protect her heart at this point. Now, Ben meets with his friend James as his new wife Morgan meets with her chosen older brother Carl. Now, each of them get advice about the recent hurdle regarding the honeymoon and this whole being a nurse situation. Both being told to give each other room and the space and time to grow together and move forward. Absolutely. I just think that they're making a mountain out of a molehill with that situation. If she's a nurse, she's a nurse. 1 class, 1 month, whatever. At this point, it's pretty much a moot point if she's actually working as a nurse. So, yeah, they need to take the time and grow together and move forward, just like the advice that they were given. So following all of the meetups, we see Kristen sit Mitch down to tell him about the relationship history issue that she was concerned about. Mainly the fact that she had been, of course, engaged to her former boyfriend before breaking things off when he cheated. Now, she was worrying whether or not this could be a deal breaker for him. Kristen waits for Mitch to respond, but became absolutely happy when he said that it hold no weight over his feelings toward her. Now, when it comes to Alexis, things aren't so good for that situation, because Alexis got upset with Justin when her dog started throwing up blood, and he happened to share with her that the dog hadn't eaten in 2 days. Now, she is furious over his lack of sharing this information, and the two of them get into a major argument. Now, I actually saw this clip first thing early yesterday morning, and I did post it to my Instagram. So if you guys did see it on Instagram, we had a whole discussion about this. And my biggest issue is why did Alexis not know about her baby Newton not eating for 2 days or vomiting blood when they are living in the same house? Was she away? Where was she? Did she not ask about the dog? I mean, she trusted Justin to feed and take care of the dog in 48 hours. I would think you would know if something would be going on. That part didn't make any sense to me. And his dog has been put away for the next several weeks. He's taking care of your dog, and you calling him manipulative and all of these different things. You didn't even want him to go with you to take the dog to the vet. Now, all of a sudden, it's in his care, and you don't know any of this in 2 days. That part I don't understand. And for my YouTube listeners, let me know what your thoughts are about this situation down in the comment section as well. Let's continue. Then it gets worse because it continues as the both of them plan their party and they're bickering while shopping at the candy store. Now, Alexis complains that he's not communicating, and Justin is arguing that he didn't have to tell her anything about the dog because he was supposedly handling the situation. Now, they can't see eye to eye with each other at this point, and we see Alexis leave the store. She took off her mic and all of that, and who knows what's going to happen from this point in the episode, whether their party plans are still intact. So now we got Stasia and Nate. They throw a 70s bash where her sisters ask Nate about whether or not, the two of them have talked about having kids. And he mentioned how he isn't so sure yet, as he doesn't even know whether Stasia even liked kids. Now, meanwhile, with Stasia, she learns from Nate's friends that he does have abandonment issues from his own mom, and that, she'll just need to reassure him that all will be fine. And I do like the point that I heard with, I don't know which side it was, where they were saying, and I think it might have been, I don't know, I have to go back and look. But where one of the friends had said, Stasia's been through counseling. She needs to allow you the time and the grace to get there. She know how to process her emotions and how to be vulnerable because she spent the time in counseling already. So now, because he's never done this before, he is open to it. Allow him the opportunity to go through the process so he can get to the point where he feels vulnerable enough to be open and share those things. And I really appreciate that. And I think that was her friends telling that to Nate. So, and on the flip side, with the fact of his situation with his mom and not having a connection, there's abandonment issues, him not really being in a committed relationship. That's a situation there. So it's going to take some time. And his friend said that he's very open-minded. So he's open to being able to work with Stasia on this, or she work with him in order to move forward together with this. So I absolutely love the advice that both of the friends gave to both Stasia and Nate. Now we see with Lindy and Miguel, they throw this game show theme party with this over-the-top costumes and games for their friends to play. Now all of their friends are very impressed on how well Lindy and Miguel have come to know each other in such a short time while playing a round of the Newlywed Game. But when they kind of break into their little small sections or little groups, Lindy opens up about finding Miguel funny, but there has been a recent hurdle that they hit regarding names and insurance. Now, he wants Lindy to take his last name, while Lindy wants Miguel to add her to his health insurance, while neither of them want to compromise. Now, the term red flag comes up. Now, it's clear that Lindy is on a whole nother level. But this has been an interesting thing about this. Now, I don't know if his insurance required. We don't know, but they definitely made that a thing of contention at this point of the episode. And then we got Morgan and Ben. They celebrate their marriage with their friends over Mexican food and tequila. Now, speaking openly about their struggles on the honeymoon regarding trust, Morgan and Ben are essentially told by their particular party people to forgive and move on in order to stick with this process. And that's true. I mean, they stuck at that whole thing. It's over. Let's move on. So it looks like Alexis and Justin decided to still have their party, but things are clearly tense at their 90s theme get-together. Now, when Alexis addresses the group, she explains that she and Justin have gone through this whole fight that put them on thin ice. She also says that she wants to be transparent about their struggle and kind of taking a little dig at Justin by saying so. Now, while Justin tells his friends that, their fights scare him, Alexis admits that she does care for Justin and she even loves him, but that she's quite not in love with him yet. And I honestly think that sometimes she gets into her own head, because whatever misstep he's making, she turns around and said, and it makes me feel like you're hiding something. That doesn't mean that he is. And I'm not going to go through that whole thing with the 2-day thing, but when you start to assume somebody is hiding something and, he overshares, she don't think he does. They need to kind of figure that whole thing out, or else this is not going to work. But hopefully, she still has enough love in her that she want to stick through the process. And so far, it seems so. So now we got Mitch and Christian. They have this futuristic party that goes off pretty well for the most part. I mean, but she admits that his environmentally conscious approach does throw her a loop at times. Now, while they're on the same page about most things, Mitch and Christian both acknowledge that he's having a hard time with her dog, because that pup has loud snoring, and apparently it is so noisy for Mitch that he can't even sleep at night. So I'm wondering if this could be the beginning of a deal breaker for him, but we'll have to see. So after the parties are all over, we see Miguel and Lindy talking about their different stances on her taking his last name and him allowing her to sign on to his insurance. Now, a fight gets started between the two of them, and Miguel argues that he doesn't like this version of Lindy, especially when she's being loud and dropping these F-bombs and conflicting with his thoughts. Now, when the two of them kind of bring up the topic at the end of the episode, she did apologize for taking that tone that she did. But she wants him to accept it and her, because things won't always be as perfect. But she said she'll like to try. Now, I don't know. Could this be the beginning of the end with these two? But only time will tell. But I honestly think they should be able to work through this. But she definitely needs to watch how she talks to people. So the girls and the guys, they gather in their little groups. The girls chat about their current married lives, and the men do the same. Kristen and Mitch open up about them being happier in their relationship, and it's relieving to the women, because they were struggling with the fact when Kristen was struggling on the honeymoon. The men talk about pet troubles, meaning Justin and Mitch, commiserating and talking about the hurdles that they've had with these pets and what problems it's causing in their marriage. Alexis and Justin each give a detail of all of the events that happened when it came to their dogs. Stasha, said in the confessional that she kind of is on Justin's side based on Alexis' description of his behavior, saying that she doesn't always feel the need to open up about something she isn't thinking of at the time. And I actually agree with what she had to say about that. Now, Lindy admits that she and Miguel had a little bit of tiff. Justin tells the men that he and Alexis have yet to consummate the marriage, and Nate admits the same, even though he does other things. And Morgan gets honest by saying that there is a lack of intimacy with Ben because of the walls that she built around herself, and hopes that she can work on it. So we have to honestly see if these couples can overcome some of these hurdles that they have been presented so far. that's in their way. So we have to stay tuned to Married at First Sight as it continues on. Look like we might be halfway to season, almost halfway to season. So let me know your thoughts. Let's start the conversation down in the comment section. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you soon. Bye.